success starts and ends here. It's all about your mindset. It's all about your mindset.
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
How would you like to achieve your first million? And today we have Iain, the founder of Klozers, based from Scotland. So Iain, tell us, what are the 5 steps that you recommend entrepreneurs out there to make the first million?
Harry, thank you for inviting me on your show. And
Pleasure.
I'm going to refer to some notes if you don't mind.
Of course.
The first step is, and maybe you recognize some of these things, so feel free to jump in. The first step is to understand that success starts and ends here. It's all about your mindset. It's all about your mindset. And unfortunately, most of us, and I include myself in this, struggle because we have fear, anxiety, self-doubt. The inner voice in our head is telling us, we can't do this. You're never going to be able to do this. The superpower, the magic wand and the silver bullet for success that everybody's looking for is in here. Your mind is your superpower, and that's the most important thing that you should be focusing on. Because, and forgive me, I'm not quite sure which of the neuroscientists like Joe Dispenza, I think it was him that said this, your personality creates your personal reality. So your external world is simply a manifestation of your internal world. So if you want to be successful in anything, it doesn't matter about the money, being a millionaire, that's great, but it all starts in here with the mindset. Does that make sense, Harry?
100%. I agree 100%. So what would be the step number 2?
Step number 2, and these are maybe going to be, I could be accused of these being linked, but step number 2 is you've got to be hungry. Now, you're a great motivational speaker, Harry. I'm sure you've watched Les Brown talking about being hungry, right? Yep. That the great speaker, Les Brown. You've got to be hungry. You've got to wake up with a smile on your face, and you've got to wake up and go, you know what, good things are going to happen to me, right? And I'm going to make good things happen for me. There is not necessarily, the world isn't necessarily fair. It's not necessarily easy, right? But you've got to actually go out there and make things happen for yourself by being hungry for your own personal success. And if you can be successful, I'm pretty sure people like yourself, Harry, you would acknowledge that whilst being a millionaire is great, the money isn't the issue. It's what you can do with the money. It's the options and the choices that allows you to do, and the things that you can do for your nearest and dearest, your loved ones.
Absolutely.
So, number 2 is be hungry. Number 3, and again, this is maybe a little bit linked, but I'm of an age where learning was really only ever done in a classroom. Now, there is no barrier to learning other than our appetite. Our appetite to learn is the only thing that's stopping us, because if you go on YouTube, if you go on the internet, if you type in "how do I," somebody's done a blog post, there's a PDF, there's a mini course, there's a YouTube how-to video. Right? There is all these resources from really clever, successful, independent producers that you can learn from and keep moving forward. So the only barrier to learning is our appetite. And that's why you get some amazing people from I hope I don't offend anybody, but you get some amazing people from third world countries who are absolutely so good. I've got such great skills because they're on the internet learning everything. You don't need to go to university. You don't even need to go to school, right? Every day is a school day. Outside of school, you'll learn much more, right? Using the internet, and yeah, there's some bad stuff on there, but there's only bad stuff if you go looking for bad stuff. I've never had bad stuff pop up out of nowhere. If you focus on different things, like even Twitter, forgive me, X, there's some amazing learning resources on X. I've never for the life of me seen any porn or anything like that. I'm not saying it's not there, but if you go looking for good stuff, you'll find good stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then like for example, there is a book that says why students A work for student C. So sometimes it's a book of Roy Kiyosaki that talks about that. So sometimes you go to universities is you can have it can land you a very good job, but probably you will be end up working for an entrepreneur who owns that business.
Yeah, that's a great point. You'll end up working for an entrepreneur. And just as an example, one of my daughters chose not to go to university. She's 23 years old. She earns more than all of her peers who went to university.
I believe you. I believe you 100%.
Your university degree will get you your first job and maybe your second job, but your mindset, your work ethic, and your attitude is what people are after.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what are the next step? Step number
Okay,
four.
next one. I'm not an expert on this, but digital, right? If you're starting any business, you've got to think digital first. You've got to think, okay, so what can I do that is scalable? Because and that inevitably is going to lead you to some form of digital solution. Now, that does not mean that you have to be a technology specialist or a programmer, but you can go on some of these AI tools at the moment and you can say, I want you to create X, Y, Z, talk me through, give me a step-by-step guide how to create a piece of software. And it will tell you how to do it. It will actually do a lot of the heavy lifting for you. As an example, if you go to our website, Klozers.com, well, you don't even need to go there. Search coaching for entrepreneurs. When you go to that website, there's an online quiz built in some form of computer code. I have no idea what the code is, but I did that on my own using Claude AI. You don't even need to be a computer technologist now to have to be successful digitally. The technology is amazing and it will only ever get better. So, if you want to be a millionaire, there are so many different ways that you can use AI to actually create a second income, which would become your main income.
Excellent. And what would be the step number 5, the last one?
Okay, my last one is you're going to have to be resilient because life does not go up in a lovely trajectory. You're going to hit bumps along the way. You're going to get distracted along the way. Some things are not going to work, and you're going to have to double down and try a second time or try maybe a different route to solve the same problem. But the easiest thing is to give up and not try. That's the easy route. And in life, anything that's worthwhile is going to take time and it's going to take some level of effort and energy. So, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. If you look at your successful YouTube channel there, Harry, how many hours have you put into this? Not just in recording, but behind the scenes. Yeah, you've put years into this, right? So, there's a lot of hard work goes into it, and you will hit hiccups and bumps along the way. We still have hiccups and bumps. That's just part of it. It's part of learning, and when you do hit these problems, it helps you become a better person. It helps you become stronger, and it's all good. It's all good.
I'm glad you mentioned Les Brown. Just before this broadcast, we have a meeting now with the main promoter of Les Brown here in London, and she's a good friend. We're actually planning an online event where I will be speaking along Les Brown in that event. It's coming
Fantastic.
in 2-3 weeks, and we're also preparing a live event in London. I have the pleasure also to share the stage with him in 2018, and it's amazing, right? So great speaker. So I'm glad you mentioned him. One of in my opinion, the greatest motivational speaker of all time. And he always said you have to be hungry.
Isn't that serendipitous though, Harry? Isn't that serendipitous? I did not know. You hadn't shared that with me. I did not know you were going to say that. So
Yeah.
quite serendipitous.
It's like the law of attraction. Actually, right before this podcast, we are doing a meeting because we're producing the online event with Les Brown that will take place in the couple of weeks. It's gonna be online. I will send you the details so you can come and see him speak. So
Yeah,
it's free and
please
it's
do.
online. Yeah. So
Yeah.
then Iain, so tell us why you decide to become an entrepreneur. You were talking about the university, like for example, my parents, they were teachers, right? So they always tell me, go to university, go to study, and you're gonna be okay. So I went to university, I got the degree in chemical engineering. I never exercised as chemical engineer, and it never solved any problems to my life. I never worked as chemical engineer. It kept my mom and my dad happy, but apart from that, it was 5 years that I was there. So tell us your story. Why you decide to become an entrepreneur? What happened?
So I'm slightly different to a few people. I did not go to university either. The first time I went to university, I was actually teaching, and
wow, that's amazing.
For 2 or 3 years ago, I used to teach on the Masters in Entrepreneurship at Strathclyde Business School in Glasgow.
Wow.
I don't do that now, but that was my first actual time in a university building.
You went there to teach, right? Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. So, I maybe like a lot of entrepreneurs, I fell into business. I was working in a sales job. I was not particularly happy. I resigned, decided, thought to myself, what am I going to do now? And somebody came up with a business idea, and I went, okay, I'm just going to try that because I had nothing else. I ran that particular business, which was a recruitment business. I ran that for I think 5 years with 27 employees.
Wow.
It was a nice little business, but it was not. You don't wake up in the morning and think, "Oh, it's great to be in recruitment." It was just something to do.
Passion, yeah.
It was just something to do. So I moved on from that business, and I got into sales because I've been in sales all my life since I left school. So I run a sales training business, and the great thing about my job is that literally every day is different because I get to meet so many different people. Today, I've already been training some folks in Lithuania. I've got some people from the UK after this call, and I've got some people from India tomorrow. So, and they're all different businesses, but the one thing they've all got in common is that they're salespeople and they want to do better. They want to sell more, and that learning starts in here, and that's the most important thing. If you don't want to learn, nobody's going to teach you anything, right? You've got to want to learn, and I'm in a fantastic position now where I get to work with salespeople and I get to see their results, and sometimes they come to us and they're doing really well and we help them be even better, but sometimes they come to us and they're maybe struggling. And those are really good ones because I love to see them turn around, and I love to see them, really progress. And here's a little story that I know you're going to love, Harry. So this particular person that I was coaching, this person had a sales target of 15 sales per week.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.